You're gonna want to hear this. The following is guaranteed to knock your ears right off. Not intended for the faint of heart.
Joe's screaming. And we're on. This is the Lounge Around Podcast with your host, Liam Saranich. I have my co-host, Bree.
Hello.
Matt.
Hello.
And a special guest tonight, we have Nina.
Hello.
You want to push it over for her, too?
Hello.
Thanks. What are you doing, Matt? Gentlemen, it's Valentine's Day. You're supposed to be respectful. What are you doing?
I'm supposed to move the mic.
Liz.
Hi.
Liz has been on the show before, right? And then we have a new special guest, McKenzie.
Hello.
All right, McKenzie, what's your major?
I'm a double major in psychology and business.
Oh, jeez. She's going after you and you, basically.
Psychology business.
Yeah, she's going after both of you. You're done. All right, Matt, what are we talking about tonight?
Tonight we're going to be talking about some relationship issues, some goals, everything about it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. You know, what better day to talk about it than Valentine's Day? Am I right? Because what better time to talk about it when all of us are lonely people that don't have a Valentine, except for Bree.
Yep.
That's messed up.
Well,
You said it.
if we did have Valentine's, we wouldn't be able to make the show. So,
Hey,
you know,
you're right.
Except I don't know if Bree made it. But.
All right. So I guess we'll kind of jump right into it, I guess. So let's go. You're already like...
No. You want to start with the X?
I kind of want to do kind of establish people's relationship status.
All right.
If that's fair. I know Liz is. I'm not gonna mention it. You don't have to mention it. Bree, you're in a relationship.
Yeah, I have a boyfriend.
Yep.
Not in a relationship.
Yeah. Shocker. No. Nina.
I'm super single.
Super single.
Yeah,
That's
even-
awesome.
It's not even normal single.
You gotta talk into it, not the side of it.
Super single.
Come on, Matt. You're supposed to be on it.
I'll move it.
Yeah.
I'll move it every time. No worries.
McKenzie, I guess.
Yeah, I've been in a relationship.
You're in a relationship.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
How long you been in a relationship for?
Almost 2 years. this
2
July.
years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's longer than me and Matt have ever been in. There you go. Bree, how long you been in it for?
It'll be 5 years in March.
Boo! Hey, congrats.
Not 6.
Not 6. It's an odd number. Well,
It's 4 years right now.
Oh, wait.
Thank you.
There you go. See, we're all clap for you. But congratulations. How long have you? So it's been 2 years, right? And you've since like senior or junior of high school.
Yeah, I'd say going into my senior year.
Go into your senior year of high school.
Like the summer before.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Same.
Was it actually your senior? Yeah, it was. I remember now. Yeah. So I guess we'll kind of branch off a little bit from that, and kind of going into basically what should I go into? I'm not sure.
What do you want to get into?
I'm not sure.
First, I wanted to ask you, do you guys think high school relationships are a trap? Because I hear a lot of that. I hear a lot of you don't want to get into a relationship when you're going like in high school into college. I meant like a lot of people like actually just like drop whoever they're seeing because they want the freedom or you know, things like that. They don't want the college experience. So I mean, two of you guys have.
Yeah, so two of them have. I'm assuming healthy. Hoping.
Yeah, it's a healthy relationship.
Okay. She's like, it's really bad, and help me. She's like, I'm glad. She's like, I'm glad on this platform.
No.
No, I'm joking.
No, but I have been in the position where I was a junior dating a senior who dropped me because they wanted the freedom.
Yeah,
so, like,
okay.
I've been in like both situations.
All right. So, has anyone else been in that kind of situation though before?
It's all a trap. Everything is a trap.
All right. Well, let's elaborate on that one, Liz. Why is that?
It's a big statement.
Because I don't know. I've been with guys in high school, and they've been like a year older than me, they've just dropped me for the college experience, and coming into college, I'm like, okay, wait, I kind of wanted that freedom, so I understand where they're coming from. It's all a trap. Everything that a man does is a trap.
That's a crazy statement.
The way he walks, a trap.
The way he talks,
breathes,
trap.
a big trap.
The way he looks at me, trap. I'm all trapped.
Maybe that one, but
Okay, but so kind of like that. Just so you know, this is not live, so it's not live right now.
Okay.
So this is not public radio.
Okay.
So this is gonna go on post. So unless he knows post, anything like that.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Whatever. I was just saying that.
I feel like you should have said that at the beginning.
Yeah,
I'm
should
so glad you
prefaced.
said that.
have prefaced that at the beginning.
prefaced.
There's no worries about having to be clean. Well, be clean. Don't be like saying the F word. Consistent. Going like, what are you doing? Spamming it. Yeah. So you think all guys are traps? Let's elaborate a little bit more on that one, though. Why is that, though? What? What is he talking about?
I don't know.
What is the peanut gallery saying? What are you talking about? Oh, well, peanut gallery, just stay tuned and keep listening. Okay, so all men are traps and all that
Yes.
stuff. Elaborate. Why are men traps, though?
Because they'll either cheat on you or just straightforward play you just to get what they want.
Now, do all men cheat, though, now, if that statement?
Every guy that I can find, sure.
Do you think it's just the guys you're finding, or do you think it's just all men are like that?
I'm just going to assume that all men are like that. So that's why we're just going to vibe.
So I've never cheated on a girlfriend, ever. I've been cheated on multiple times. So
Liam-
what would you say about that, then?
Liam, what if you were the problem? Have you ever thought about that?
You think they cheated on me because I was the problem? This is let's open that
Come
can
on,
of worms.
look at the odds.
Sure,
Look at the
let's open
odds.
that can of worms for a second. So it's my problem that they cheated on me.
Oh no.
Oh.
No, I was just joking.
Oh, okay.
See, it's not victim blaming, but I think what Nina was trying to say was that it's obviously, I'm going to make an analogy here.
Okay.
It's obviously not your, say like, I don't know, some guy like rear ends you or something.
Sure.
Right? Like that's like not your fault. Like the guy rear ends you, but you go flying through the windshield or something, right? But you could have been wearing your seatbelt, right? And that's like I don't know, some sort of responsibility that you hold. It wasn't your fault that you got hit rear-ended, but it was sort of your fault. You got thrown out the windshield. You could have prevented that part at least.
So
By wearing your seatbelt if you didn't have it on.
So are you saying with like, so that in your analogy, can I break your analogy? Are you saying with like boundaries? Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying there might have been something. You have to search for that yourself.
Oh, thanks.
That's a great answer.
You're like, let me just give him the most convoluted answer possible, and you'll have him figure it out. Okay, so backstepping. So all guys are traps and all guys are cheaters, but women cheat too. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So are all women cheaters then? If women cheat too?
No, because we're just a girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
What does that mean? Just a girl.
Basically, no matter what you do,
yeah.
even if the
Do you wanna share the
behavior
mic
is not
with
acceptable, you just say you're just a girl and move on. You just move on.
But do you think that's fair to the guy that has
Oh,
literally
no.
done nothing
Absolutely
to be
no,
cheated on, and then they
absolutely.
just say, "Well, I'm just a girl. I could just cheat." Do you think it's an easier pass, almost, for girls to cheat than guys to cheat? Do you think it's more ridiculed for girls to cheat than guys to cheat?
No, but I also think a guy will put their thingy in any living girl that's walking past them.
So, not true. I would never do that. And I am one of the specimen of men. I'd like to think. I would definitely not. What's it called?
A man whore?
Yeah, I would not be a man whore for sure. I wouldn't go around and stick my thingy thing in any thingy thing because I'm not like that. So if am I an exception then? If all men are like that, am I like that still? Even though I'm not like that though.
I'm biased just because I know you.
But do you think like let's give a percentage? Do you think like 30% of men cheat?
I think a lot more than that does.
So you think 50% of men cheat?
Maybe a little more.
All right, like let's go like 60.
I'm thinking a little more.
There is
80.
no way.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
So 80% of men cheat.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
All right, what's
So
the
the actual statistic is
this is
I have this. I think I have this. I can't. If I remember correctly, it's. I think like. I know it's higher than women. Men cheat higher than women, but it's like. In the 30s, like low 30s, high 20s, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like 28% of men cheat and like 24% of women cheat, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the women cheating statistics only lower because they would probably not report it as much.
And that's perfect.
No, that's a joke.
no, I'm joking.
Right. I mean, with that statistic, right, there's like 30%, you said? Like, I don't know, 30.
I think it's like 20.
Somewhere around there.
I was like looking it up earlier. I can look it up real quick.
I don't know which age range this is.
Do you want to look it up, actually?
Obviously, probably.
The percentage of men
There
cheating
also has
versus
to
women.
be different parameters to cheating. Like, I think there's different people have different definitions of what cheating is. So, like, some people, I don't know. Some people say, like, some crazier people say, like, even if you, like, look at, like, some other person,
Yeah.
you know, that's like a cheat. I don't know, you go and hang out with, like, I don't know, one of your girlfriends, not girlfriends, but a friend that is a girl.
Yeah.
And that'd probably be cheating for some people. I don't know, it's different.
Yeah.
What would you consider cheating, Liz?
Kissing a girl doesn't matter if it's on the cheek or anything. Other than family members, that's fine.
Okay.
Touching a girl inappropriately and then anything more.
Okay. What was the...
What I found is men cheat 20% and women 13%.
Okay. Well, it's like that. So it's 30% of women, 20% of men cheat. It's not. It's
What are these
high.
age ranges?
Yeah. She's probably reading it. Are you reading more into it or no?
No.
Oh. All right. But so you said they kiss, they touch like women appropriately. That makes sense. I would count that as cheating. But like, what do you think of like women talking to men at bars when they have a boyfriend? Do you think that's cheating?
I think that's just girlhood.
That's
And
girlhood?
Yeah, because I feel like a guy, if they were drunk at a bar, they would also talk to another girl and flirt. But even if they don't do anything, like that's fine. But as a girl, that's just girlhood.
Yeah. So I've. What? You have something to say, man?
I just don't know what girlhood is.
Do you want to explain
I haven't gone through the
girlhood
girlhood
is?
experience.
Girlhood is just living your life, not being controlled as a girl. And you just do a bunch of girly things and you have fun and you get drunk and shake some ASS.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna go to the guy. I'm just doing guyhood things. I'm just,
We're
talking
gonna
to any
go-
girl I want, and it doesn't really matter. It's just guyhood. I know. I can do whatever I want. It doesn't matter.
But do you realize that that's not happening as much of like men going around like sticking into anything that walks or talks, basically?
I'm thinking it's more of just 80% of men I talk to do that.
Okay, so there we go. We break that down. Maybe it's 80% of the men you talk to are like that. But where do you find these men you talk to at?
I find them around Eastern's campus, and I find them around any school or just any town, anywhere.
Where was the last? How about this? Where's the like last guy you met? Basically, where'd you find him at?
I found him in class at Eastern.
And like, what did he say to you that was like so bad? Or like,
So he actually DM'd me on Instagram and he said, "Hey, what's up? You look good." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So he's already just in it for certain something. And if I went further with that, he would definitely screw me over.
well, not necessarily, because he said you look good. Basically, in like what context? Like, did he say you look good today or something like that?
He said it about 2 weeks ago, and he tried talking to me after that, and I just completely ignored
Well,
him.
that day, did he say like, "Hey, you look good today"? Like on that day?
Yeah, and he said, "Why are you ignoring me?"
I just, I think personally,
Well, did you answer? Or do you continue ignoring him?
I think personally, I think you just need to find guys that are not going to treat you like. There's like I think more guys out there that would actually give you the time of day and also talk to you like a human being and not say like, yo, come to my room and let's hang out alone. Like there's plenty more guys out there that are like that than just saying that all men are like that, all things like that. Because that's saying the groundwork for you to always have that stereotype of men. So it'd be kind of harder for you to find a man that actually will say to you, hey, you look good today, but they say it in a nice way. And then that assumption is like, oh, they're trying to get in my pants. But that's not the case sometimes. They're just trying to give you a good compliment. Wouldn't you say that would be the case?
Yeah, I think the problem also might be me because anytime they say something to me, I just laugh in their face.
I want to preface the difference, though.
Yeah.
Right. Between different types of compliments that people can give you.
Sure.
Right. Like, there's obviously a difference between I think your eyes look nice and I think your butt is big or something like that.
Yeah.
Those two are obviously probably seeking different things in I don't know different terms. Because one's obviously trying to.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that one.
Actually, Kiskin today complimented me.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Look at you, Matt.
I'm the kind of
On
person.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Did he ask you to be his Valentine too?
Huh?
Did he ask you to be his Valentine too?
No.
All right, Matt.
He didn't have to ask.
Do it right now. Oh, it's already happened.
Yeah. You just don't know.
How can I be so foolish?
No, but it was very nice because as you guys know, I don't wear colors a lot. Like I usually wear black. So Kiskin's like, oh, like you look really good today. I really like your outfit. And I was like, thank you. Like that really
Matt's
meant
a sweet
lot.
guy. Look at him.
Yeah, especially from a guy friend. Because I remember I asked you, I was like, how do I look today? You were like, I'm not complimenting you. Nina, no.
Ooh, hold up.
I'm not doing this right now.
This is buffoonery. The reason, give
No,
context.
I know reason.
Where we were. Don't tell. Where were we? And what were you asking me as well that day?
We were at Kiskin's dorm.
No.
Yes.
Oh, is it? We're
Yeah.
talking about. I thought we were talking about the hockey house that night.
Oh no. No.
Did you hear about this?
He did hear about this in details, by the way.
What, the hockey house? Him?
This is a conversation that we should have like later.
What? What conversation?
William's a little slow. It's okay.
I don't know what's happening, but
But
whatever.
yeah, there's definitely a difference.
No,
Like,
because
you
you
literally
asked
made my day when
you
kissing
asked me like shit like, hey, how do I look? I said to you probably what I said was, you look. I probably wasn't saying like I don't want to say anything, but I'd say like you look good. Like I'd probably say that.
No, not at the hockey house.
Not at the hockey house. I'm talking about Kiskin's dorm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm not gonna compliment you because I don't look at you like that.
Yeah, I don't look at you like that.
So that was fair. That was super fair.
Yeah.
Cole had same reaction.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna go to a girl and be like, "You look beautiful," and then like, what is that message sending to them, basically?
I don't know. I didn't doubt it slightly Kiskin's intentions.
No, but I guess we have different views, me and
Yeah.
Matt, of course.
Yeah.
Look, right? There's different compliments as well,
Okay.
right? You can go up to hold on. You don't look at people like this, right? But you could go up to a person and be like, I think your shirt is sick, right? Or something like that. Right? And that wouldn't be there's no sense of attraction there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, it could be to a guy or girl. Or I think you put that fit on or something like that, you know? Those are like, I don't know, they're just about whatever was there, not like an attraction kind of thing.
So if I went to
hold on, you're about to straw man me, but go ahead.
So if I were to go, let's say like this, right? Let's say that I went up to a girl that had a boyfriend, right? And I went up to the girl and I was like, "You look gorgeous tonight." Do you think that would be like
I think that would be crossing the line.
Okay.
Yes.
I said like, "Hey, you look beautiful tonight."
I think that would be crossing the line.
Okay. That's kind of basic. We got to throw up. What was that? You're like, ugh.
Nothing.
So what's the line then for you?
What's the line?
For you? Because if I was a guy and a guy came up to my girl and was like, "Hey, you look beautiful tonight," and like and
This is a different. All right, do you think there's a difference between you look beautiful tonight and your shirt looks cool?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
I thought that was. Oh, never mind.
No,
All right.
I was talking about the context of that. I wasn't even registering your shirt thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about like, I'm asking you as like a man thing. Like if a guy went up to your girl and said that to you,
It said, "Oh, you look beautiful."
yeah, what would?
I'd probably see it as them being flirtatious towards the other partner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd see it like that.
Yeah, so that's why I don't really do that to other
Compliments?
girls
I
when they have a boyfriend. Or
just
like
defined the differences
what
between what you were saying before and what you're saying there.
So say it again. I literally didn't hear what you said.
There's a difference between saying a girl's beautiful and that you like their shirt, right?
Yeah.
One's about attractiveness.
Yeah.
One's about whatever they're wearing or doing. Like, I don't know, you're really good at soccer.
Mm-hmm.
That's not like it's a compliment, but it's not like an attraction compliment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I crazy here?
No, plus it really depends on situation, like where you at.
Yeah.
Or what kind of connection do you have with a person. If a random person comes up to you, and it's the sex that you were attracted to, you obviously take it as like, oh, they are hitting on me.
Yeah.
But just friendly compliment is just a compliment. Like, you are overthinking, Liam. Like, you know, like, it's just...
No, why would I, like, I just don't,
thing.
I don't
I'm
see,
just
like, going up to a
reassuring
girl and calling her beautiful and, like, have, no. No, I know what you're saying, Matt. I heard what you're saying. What I was saying was, I don't think me going up to a girl and calling, if they're not in a relationship, and calling them beautiful, I think that would set like a different. I'm saying I'm saying beautiful. I'm not talking about the shirt. But if I went up to a girl and comment their shirt, that's a different thing. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying with the beautiful.
I
thing.
agree. The beautiful would be attractiveness.
Would be a misleading thing. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
So
no,
I agree with you.
I thought you were saying that's why I don't give compliments.
No. No. That's
you can give compliments to random people.
I'm not saying I don't give compliments. I'm saying in the sense of like the extreme version of compliment.
Okay,
like,
the extreme version.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Great. What do you guys think over there at all?
I feel like it also depends on the tone.
Okay.
If a guy is saying it, because like you can tell if like someone's just like being nice and like kind of just like jokingly saying like you look beautiful today, but then you can also tell like if they're being serious, like, and saying it. So then also like, but like, I feel like a lot of girls just take it like they're attracted, so like and they like want something with you. So.
Yeah. So like yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Liz, well, I can't wait for this one.
Honestly, if a random guy comes up to me, he's like, "Oh my God, you look so beautiful today." I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you," and it just boosts up my confidence. Like, I don't care who is saying it. If any man says that to me, any breathing, walking man, I'm just like, "Oh my God," and I walk back to my dorm and I scream, "Oh my God, I'm so sexy," and I'm so happy. My ego is so boosted. I love when men do this.
It is, especially men at the gas station.
Indian men.
This is the craziest thing.
Your most gorgeous, beautiful. They will literally tell you most amazing, lovely words, and you go home and you're like, "I'm pretty. I'm gorgeous."
Exactly.
Thank you. You made my day.
Yes, the gas station, the smoke shop, the liquor store, any Indian man working there, giving me discounts and telling me I'm beautiful. I'm like, oh my God, my day is made. My whole week is actually set.
I absolutely agree. No.
Wait, what? With like Indian men saying you're beautiful at gas stations? Specifically at gas station. That's a crazy statement. Who says that?
The man, like, behind this building, he gives me compliments all the time, and I go over there, and it just makes me feel good.
They give me discounts.
They do, or give you free stuff.
But
there's no way.
No,
it's a real. I'm not joking. I know what they're talking about. It's a real thing.
It's called pretty privilege. It's called pretty privilege. Not everybody
here we
has
go.
it.
Let's get into pretty privilege.
What? It's real, and I love it. I enjoy it.
I agree with you. It's real. Matt, do you think it's real? Do you think pretty privilege is real?
Obviously, I think it's real.
Okay.
I just don't think it's as... I think I mean, it's very prominent in our society. I will say that. But I think that a lot more people have it than they think as well. There's some people that say, like, I don't have pretty privilege, and then that's like untrue. And pretty privilege also goes both ways. Do you think I have pretty privilege?
You think I can go up to a guy at the cash register, an Indian man?
No, I don't think you can go up to a guy.
And say, hey, can I get a free bag of Doritos? And I'm like, how you doing, sir? And like give him the goo goo eyes. Do you think he'd fall in love with me then?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it happens both ways, and I think it happens probably more often with women get it.
I don't think that happens with men.
Yes, it does.
Not
it definitely does.
Really.
It does. I've done it for a man.
Done it for a man?
Yes, at my job, hot guys asked me for to order food, and I gave them like a 5-10% discount.
And what happened after that?
I gave them my number, and I never got the text.
I got fired.
Oh, wow. Yeah, seems great.
What was the really? The result doesn't matter.
No, I know, but I just don't think it's a realistic thing. I think it happens probably 10% of the time for men and 90% of the time for women, in my opinion.
No way. Yeah. No shot is it happening 90% of the time for women.
It happens more often than women. Let's say there's a person at the bar, it's a man at the bar, and me and Nina went up to the guy at the bar. Do you think he'd give Nina a discount before he'd give me a discount, or he'd give...
It's not the same. You have to do a girl and a guy at the bar.
Oh, sure. Let's do both then. Sorry, you're right. Do you think I would get? Do you think I would get a discount if it was a girl at the bar versus a guy at the bar doing it?
Wait. So a guy going up to a girl at the bar and a girl going up to the guy at the bar.
Yeah, they're bartenders.
Bartender.
Though. Yeah.
I don't know the bar scene, but whatever. If I was going to put this in any other situation, probably the guy giving the girl the discount. I will say it happens more often than the other way around.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying.
But that's because I think the average attractiveness level of women is higher than the average attractiveness level of men. I do think that because obviously there's tools and there's more of a incentive to societal push to be beautiful in that manner. You see beauty products always
makeup
go towards women.
Yep.
That's why it's called pretty privilege.
Yeah.
It's not a women privilege or anything. You get stuff because you're pretty. Well, in some cases, yes, because you're a woman.
But it's more often than not for women, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's mainly because they find you attractive and they think you're pretty. And they can get something out of it eventually. Okay. But yeah.
All right. I get that then, I guess, to some extent.
You get that.
I get that, Johnson.
I want to...
Yeah, sure.
Are we done with that one?
Yeah, I want to move on from that.
I want to ask, what do you guys think about, what about your girlfriend or boyfriend having a girl or guy best friend? That kind of thing. Girl best friend, guy best friend.
This is why I have such a hard time making friends, because I do not believe in friendships when it comes to opposite sex. My personal experience, as long as two people find each other attractive, or one of them has to be ugly, I don't know, I believe that there always will be some kind of attraction. I believe that women usually put up the barrier where they friend zone you, and men are usually waiting for... I'm not saying they're doing it to wish you something bad.
They get sidelined more often?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just I think women take first step to friend zone and put up a barrier and be like, this is where I stand. Because every time I put that barrier down and I let them in, it was more than friendship.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's basically it.
No, you're good.
I've heard from many guys, because they've been mad that I have guy friends, or that guy just wants to get with you, and then they go on and have female friends. So they're basically saying any guy that has a female friend they want to get with, but they're being a hypocrite in that sense, and it's just not fair. You want to get with your girl best friend, but me having a guy best friend is a problem because they want to get with me, but I'm setting that boundary.
Okay, so so then my question is, do you not believe in opposite sex being friends?
I believe more in a girl having a guy best friend because we set the boundary than a guy having a girl best friend.
Isn't that a double standard?
It is, but also like I said before, a guy will usually put their thingy, and any walking female, any breathing female.
But I have friends that are girls, right? And I don't do that.
Well, I'm saying for like a good amount of guys, they will do that, especially for their female friends. Even if they don't do anything, they most likely want to do stuff with them.
So
I think that there's like, all right, right. I think it goes both ways. But when you're saying like they want to stick their thingy in any sort of thingy, right? That goes to like the conception like, oh, they're literally like they'll do anything they're so desperate, right? And when women are like looking for they're not looking for desperate men, right? I don't think you're gonna be like surrounded by desperate men, at least hopefully. But
I am.
I wouldn't say that it's desperation. It's like if you're their friend,
yep.
You first of all, you probably and should feel comfortable around them, and then you start thinking like, oh, I get along with this person so well, they're my friend, oh, like maybe they're a little bit attractive too and I never saw it. It's not like, oh, like one party is desperate. It's just a realization that maybe hypothetically something can come out of that friendship that could be more.
Sure. Question to you, but so going back to what you said almost, you said that guys stick their things in anything, but who's allowing that to happen though? Like who's allowing them to do that?
I guess the girls, because they're also desperate.
So is it the guy's fault then if they want to stick their thing in anything, if the girl's allowing it to happen? Don't you think there's accountability on both ends then?
Most girls will only say yes because a guy will be so pushy.
But sure, they could be pushy and be like begging, but at the end of the day, like the final decision is up to the person that allows it to happen, right? Wouldn't you agree?
I guess.
So is it really men's fault if women allow them to just sleep with them? Isn't it both their faults?
It's both ways, but I feel like it's more of the guy's fault because it was more of their idea. They were being so pushy about it and they couldn't be respectful if a girl was saying no a couple times. So they went for it until the girl finally said yes.
Sure, I can come up with an idea, but it's up to the other person to go along with the idea for that idea to be fruition.
Yeah, and then most of the times I've heard like girls afterwards, they just completely regret it. They're like, I just messed up my whole friendship.
But yeah, yes, but don't you think girls can also have the opportunity to go to their other friends and be like, listen, this guy's being pushy. Can I hang out with you because this guy's giving me the creeps and all that stuff? Maybe he's being creepy about it or being like, very pushy. Don't you think they can go to other people and be like, can I stay here? Or listen, this guy's being weird. What should I do? Or go to another person and be like, hey, can you help me with this? Don't you think that's a possibility too?
Liam, stop proving me wrong.
I'm just asking a question.
Here, I'll go on Liz's side.
Matt will defend you.
Don't you think that it'll be a little harder, though, when you're getting pushed around or pressured? Like, not even like saying that they're forcing you to make a choice, but you're more pressured, obviously, to make one choice than the other. Because
Sure, there's this thing where women feel pressured. I'm not trying to speak for people feel pressured to have sex with other people, but at the end of the day, isn't it up to the other person to allow the intercourse to happen?
What do you mean by at the end of the day? Because what I could say, right, is say that I get out of high school and I want to just work like a part-time job, right? But my parents are like, you got to go to college. You got to go to college. Please go to college. Like, please go to college. And you're like, no, like, I don't want to go to college. Like, you know, and then they keep pushing you. And then you're like, fine, like, I'll go to college. Like, was it, you know, was it their choice really? Or were they really pushed to go to college?
So
like,
at the end
really
of the day, it was their choice because they had a strong will. They would say no and not.
What do you mean by will?
And what I mean by will is have the firmness to be like, listen, this is not happening. Like, this is not going to happen. And people, I feel like, need to, if they're going to, like, claim that it's men's fault or women's fault that this happens, I think people need to have the reason with the other side and be like, well, ideas don't happen unless the other person has the same idea and agrees with the idea in some level of it. You know what I mean? Even if they regret it later on, you have the choice to be like, listen, I don't want to sleep with you, and that's kind of it. And you can like literally walk away and not have to deal with it. But you can literally, there's multiple things you can do. You can block the person. You don't have to see that person anymore. You can walk away from that person. You can call your friend, a family member, and then you're with some people you feel safe with, and then that guy doesn't have I'm not saying half the time guys aren't terrible people and push things to limits that shouldn't be pushed to, of course, but more often than not, a guy will text a girl and be like, yo, come on over, girl, blah, 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 like douchebags do. But, like, it's up to the person to actually get up off their bed and walk to the dorm and go in there afterwards. It's both accountability on both ends, in my opinion.
But isn't it when someone pushes you and pressures you too much to be sexually active with them, it counts as a right?
Not
I think it does.
Not necessarily.
Really?
Because there's a difference between that and like willingly having sex with someone. You know what I mean? Because
no, if someone keeps begging you and you eventually give up and say yes, I don't think that's the case. I think people use that term very loosely. I think let's just call it SA. I don't want to say that. Let's just call it SA. Like when SA happens, I think it's terrible men making a terrible choice, to doing a terrible thing to women, and I think those people should be chemically castrated. That's my opinion, and that's honestly my opinion. I don't think. Agree.
Yeah, I think there are terrible men out there. I'm not saying there are not terrible men out there, but to say that pushy guys, which I don't agree with either. I think men should not be pushy either. So I do agree with you in that stance. I think that it's up to the woman too to go over their place or let them come in their place. I think there's multitude of things you can do before allowing this guy to have sex with you, and that's my opinion.
All right, so first, obviously, I wouldn't. The R word is very charged.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
because I don't know. It's like there's obviously different levels of SA, right? One being, I don't know, stealthing. Stealthing's like a level of it. One being like you're physically like actually like restrained, or the other one being, you know, the guy was pushing me, right? And these like these three like levels are all like they're all differently like they shouldn't all be analyzed as R word, right? But they should be analyzed as like different levels of that. When you use that word, then they only see like the extreme, like you know, like restrained kind of thing. But I do think it's at least a level of sexual assault with you know, pushing. Obviously, there's probably different levels with that. Like I was saying, like if somebody says like no, like that's obviously like a no, right?
Yeah,
for
sure.
You don't keep pushing past.
No,
that.
yeah, I think we gotta teach men to like realize what word no means.
Or teaching people because it happens both ways.
Yeah, it does.
A lot.
But I think it happens both ways more often than not. I think it's not just on one side, and one side should take full blame. I think it happens on both ends. And yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I think people don't talk about when it happens to men often because themselves, they don't say it out loud. Because, I don't know, society's built in a way like, oh, like, women get it so easily, but like, you're a man.
Yeah.
I've heard from so many of my friends, they were like, yeah, I've been sick by a female. This was the situation. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. And they are like, yeah, but I've never told any of my friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why not? And they're like, I don't know. You know, they are guys and they're going to be like, oh, dude, how is it possible that you count that you're a guy?
SA.
You probably...
Let's use SA.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Anything from you two over there at all?
I mean, I also think that it depends on the age too. Like, say if you're like, I would say for like younger people, they feel more like when they get pushed to do all these things, they feel like they have to. I mean, from personal experience, like I felt like I've had to.
Yeah.
And so like I think it just depends on the age, because I think when you get older, like I think there is both accountability on each side, because like, you know, when you're older, like you can really set these boundaries, and you should, you know, you should be able to do that. But like when you're young and it's like all new and like all of that, like I think it's really hard for girls, and there's not a lot of awareness for it, I feel like. For
sure. And I get exactly what you're talking about, for sure. Anything, Liz?
I think there actually is a lot of like pressure a guy putting on a girl, especially like coming into college, because everyone wants like a certain experience. Some people may not want it. Some people like want to go to the extreme. So it really puts pressure on like these girls, or like in some cases guys too, which doesn't make it fair to the other person.
Sure.
Obviously there's a ton of pressures in college. I don't know. But it's probably men that do it more, but it's probably like it's got to be like close-ish. Because I hear a lot of, at least, men that, I don't know, would reject like a girl, and then they're like what? Like, I don't get like rejected, right? Like, there's like a 95% like win rate, or not win rate.
Wait, with who?
With whomst?
With who are you talking about? Men getting rejected or women getting rejected?
Like women getting rejected from the guy,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
Because that's not something that like happens.
It doesn't happen as much, no.
And then they're like blown away by it. It's
so I have a question then. If you were to contact a guy, this is for the single ladies out here. If you were to contact a guy like right now and say like, "Hey, come over to my room. Like let's get it on." Do you think they'll say yes?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, do you think it would happen as often with guys though doing that?
What do you mean?
Like if I called a girl up and was like, "Come over," do you think that would happen as much?
No.
Why?
I feel like girls have like the slightest bit more self-respect than guys do, because guys just want a certain experience and they want to be able to brag about certain things.
Okay. Sure. Or do you think that women can control more often what happens with sex more than guys can control what happens with sex?
That too.
So you think women control more what happens with sex than guys having control over sex?
I guess so, to like a certain extent.
Do you think it's creepy for a guy asking a girl to have sex versus a girl asking a guy to have sex?
It depends how much the guy asks. If a guy's like begging or asking every single day, then it's creepy.
But what happens if it was the opposite? Do you think if a girl did that, do you think it'd be the same?
Yeah, if I were a guy, I feel like I'd be creeped out. I'd be like, this girl's probably stalking me.
I just want to see kind of like where if you had like it was both ways at least, so it wasn't just one-sided.
I want to say like the control factor. Obviously, both parties have to be consenting, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And what you said before, that at the end of the day, they had to make the choice.
They
right?
do.
So wouldn't you say, in your terms, that they're both equally responsible when they're like saying like, "Oh, you want to have intercourse or whatever"?
Yeah,
it's not like
I definitely think it's both people.
Okay.
I think it's on both people, but I think some people take less accountability than others, and I think they need to recognize that it goes both ways more often than not with certain things, of course. But yeah, all right. Is there any?
Oh yeah, I want to ask. Is the when you go on a first date, right? Is the guy supposed to pay or the girl?
Oh, this is a great one.
Or like, is it supposed to be equal?
I feel like if you've been talking for a little while, I think the guy should pay. But I think if it's like the first time you're kind of meeting, I think like splitting it is okay too. But I do think the guy should kind of.
Do you think the woman should pay at all? Because you kind of said split or the guy. You didn't say anything about the girl paying fully.
I feel like this is kind of hard nowadays. I feel like this could be controversial, but I feel like the guy should just should pay.
Okay, so you think
I don't think every time. Like I think for the first time, I think it actually depends on who asks who out.
So you think the guy should pay, Liz?
I already know her answer.
The guy should pay. That's called chivalry.
Oh, chivalry. Okay. And then Nina.
I'm Eastern European. What do you expect?
The guy should pay.
Yes.
Matt, do you think the guy should pay?
Depends who asks who out. You know, if you're like, because if a girl asks you out, right, and then they're like, I don't know how much this happens actually, but you know, they asked you out or whatever. You're like, yeah, sure. And then you go out and you pay and you like never see them again. Like there's got to be like a different type of like. It's like a little bit of like manipulative behavior, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Where if I should see my partner as equal, right? And we should be equals not like more like one person like makes all the bread, one person like just stays at home or something like that. We should be like more equal in that manner. So I think if I were ever gonna, see them more again, I'd probably have it be split, and especially because you see, at least on TikTok, right, where people like get their Tinder dates and then they just like eat their food and like book it or something. They just leave when they just use the other person for like money. And I think that I don't know.
We're talking about paying on the first date, by the way.
I don't know which sex does that more, but it does happen.
Yeah. Do you think guys should pay for the first date?
I don't see why not.
Egalitarianism, is that?
Sure, is like, Charlie pays every time. No. What was I gonna say? So if you think, you think men should pay every single time without question?
Yeah, except the factor, if you're halfway through the date and you're like, I will not talk to this guy again, I would pay for my own food and I'd pay for my own like drink and everything. 'Cause like, if they're paying for me, they're probably going to expect to see me again. And if I don't want that, I'm going to pay for myself.
Yeah. So that's okay. I think that whoever asks the person out should pay. And if the person has a problem with it, I'm splitting the check. Because, I don't care. If they have a problem with it, I'll split the check. I don't really mind doing that. Mm-hmm. I think it's a very... Do you have traditional values within a relationship? Do you know what that means? Like, do you have, traditional values? Like, the men should pay... guys pick the
male and female roles. Like men should be honorable. They should be
chivalrous.
They should be the leader of the pack or whatever. They should lead us.
Lead the household.
Yep.
I mean,
they should make all the money.
Only certain things, like paying for a date, that would be nice. Like taking care of certain things, like in a household, that would be great. But at the same time, I want to be independent. Like I don't want to ever have to rely on a man.
Okay, so you want the guy... Would you like the guy to adhere to his gender roles then? To, the fact that he has to pay, he has to, be kind of like the strong man in the relationship, the guy that's the protector, to protect you. Anytime something happens, he's to protect you, right?
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, that's great, right? Awesome. So then, if, as a man, I have to adhere to my gender roles, why don't you have to do that then?
I mean, I feel like if you ever think about a girl
Matt's over here scheme. Let her finish, and then I know you're trying to you want to kill me. Yeah. You know what I just did, and you're
No, if you ever think of a married couple, you see them on TikTok, see them online anywhere, you'll most likely see the woman working and also cooking dinner, making food for the kids, and also cleaning. That's fair. Okay. But also I would like.
But you still want to go to the club, and you still want to hang with your gal friends, right?
Anytime. Yeah, the same how they can hang out with their guy friends.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I want everything to be equal. I will do certain things.
You said that men can't go out and talk to other women, but it's okay if you go shake your butt because it's just a girl thing.
Well, no, not necessarily that. I would love to go to brunch in the future. Go to brunch, get some drinks, whatever, and then come back, and then they
So if I was your husband, right, and I went out and shook ass, right, and all that stuff, whatever these youths do nowadays. I talk like I'm an old man, but I'm basically the same age. You think that's a problem for me to do that?
If you were shaking ass.
Or going out and just partying, dancing with people on the dance floor and all that stuff, whatever.
I mean, I guess if you were say for instance, hypothetically, I had a husband, if they were going out, they were going to the bar, watch the game, get beers, whatever, that's fine. I know they're with their guy friends, they're fine. If there's a couple girls that they're friends with, okay, whatever, you're just going out to get a couple beers. If I go hang out with my girlfriends and I'm also getting drinks, I feel that should be fine because it's both equal. If a few guys are there, that should be fine because my intent is just to hang out with my girlfriends.
Yeah.
Same what their intent should be.
I know Matt's been wanting to jump in for a bit.
Oh, I want to say, I just want to say, at least when you're saying like adhere to certain gender roles, right? Let's see like which one would you rather adhere to, right?
Okay.
Right. So like male gender roles are like making all the money, having the freedom to do whatever you want. You can go and you're being chivalrous. You protect people. You're honorable. Like all these cool traits, right?
Sure.
Now let's think of what are traditional female traits, right, or feminine.
Well, just to kind of clarify though, for men, it's protect your girlfriend.
Whenever that happens,
whenever that has to happen, like pay for everything basically. Be the head of the household. What is there anything else I'm missing?
No, the main one is to lead and protect the household.
The lead and protect the household.
Lead and protect the household.
So that's basically the the main objective a guy should have.
And then the other ones are just what's masculine, right? Because it's masculine to be confident, right?
Sure, to an extent.
It's masculine to
You
be.
need that to lead the household.
It's masculine to be brave.
Yeah.
Right. So
you
what?
have to protect the household.
I'm just saying that these are all cool things, right? Now let's go for traditional women. What's like the women role? What's the women role in the house?
So do you want to explain it?
I mean, in my opinion, the woman should make the house like a home. They should be loving and they should take care of the home while the man is out getting stuff to provide for the home.
Now, what do you rather?
What, do you have a different opinion?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I think that it should be 50-50. I think that I also feel like I can lead that, like, the household as a woman. And,
sure.
But I don't want to always put that on the man to lead that household and do everything. Obviously, like, there's some things that, like, he can do, like, over me. But I also think that I can contribute as well. And I think it's, like, it's a teamwork effort nowadays. It's not, it shouldn't be, like, one, like, the man does all of it and the woman, like, leads the household.
Man does all the things outside the house, the woman does all the things inside the house. Yeah.
I think it should be, like, equal now.
Yeah. I agree with Bree to one extent of, like, the man should do all the, like, the yard work.
When I'm saying
I
that, I do it, like, as she's a stay-at-home mom, so she's taking care of the kids.
Exactly.
And he's out
yeah.
working.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that. Like, if you're both single, like, yeah, go to work. Like, you don't have to stay home all day. But if, like, you have kids and you want to be a stay-at-home mom, okay, you're taking care of the house while he's out there working.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
First, do you think it's more acceptable to be a stay-at-home mom or dad? Or both are equally accepted?
Mother. Stay-at-home mother.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's more accepted to be a stay-at-home mom than a dad.
Because I feel like... sorry to say this.
You feel like what?
I feel like men do a lot of, like, harder jobs that can pay them a lot more money. Like, you don't see a lot. Like, you see a lot of men that are electricians, oil plumbers, oil rig workers, and stuff like that. They do a lot of stuff like that make a lot of money. That's also very dangerous, doing construction and stuff like that. So you don't really see a lot of, like, the top 3 jobs women mostly go for: nursing, teaching, and psychology. So
first, danger doesn't equal wealth. More dangerous the job doesn't necessarily mean more money you make. So at least the danger point, like, I'm sure both genders could probably do it, but that one's pushed more to the other side than the other.
Sure.
And with nowadays as well, most households are like dual earning households, right? And that obviously it's better to make like double your income than, just your income, and then you take care of this and the other person does that, right? And also, who do you think which one would you rather be if you could choose in the relationship between this, like, gender role thing, or the gender role household, you two, Bree, which one would you rather be, the woman or the man?
The man.
I'd rather be the woman.
You're like, well, I'm stumped.
I know I can lead a household. I know I can go make the money. But I want to go raise my kids. I don't want to be out there working a 9 to 5. I want to go spend that time with my kids.
I think it's also good to have a caring figure more often than not with kids. So, like, I think women are more caring than men are in some sense. Like, there's tough love men give, especially to their sons more often than not, and versus, like, a daughter.
It's like when you, like, like, I'll go to my boyfriend and be like, I'm, like, so worried about this. He's like, well, just stop. Like, you can't do that with your kid. Like, your kid, you got to be like, okay, well, it's okay. And, like, a woman's more inept for that, or at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that this is more of it's more of an issue that guys are less maybe emotionally intelligent a lot of the time.
They can't hear you, Matt, because you're talking inside.
I think it's more of an issue that at least the guy that, would be in this traditional, household also probably is lacking some emotional intelligence, as in, at least what I could see, like guys will go and, I don't know, have like a date or something, right? And they'll go back and like talk to their friends. They'll be like, yo, how'd it go, dude? And he'd be like, it's chill. It was chill.
It was cool.
She was nice.
It was fine.
Right? And then I don't know. Girls will go on a date and
tell
then,
all the details.
Come by and they'll be like, oh, you had such great hands.
What?
I don't know.
That's not what we said.
You want to defend yourself?
I don't say they have great hands.
Get him. Get him.
You're
a mean man. You're
I've definitely
guy.
said that. I think.
What?
No, I look at people's hands. No, if your hands are not looking pretty, I don't want to see you ever again.
Oh.
How are my
what
hands?
if they do like a rough
How are
job?
my hands?
No, it needs to be taken care of.
How are my hands, though?
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
So am I a good man?
No, it's just...
No. All right.
Kiskin brought it up as an example. Like,
yeah.
we pay attention to a lot of details.
Yeah, no.
That you guys sometimes might
Well,
overlook.
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it could be as simple as
the
like,
amount
oh
of
my
times
god, he
I've
has
come
great
home
hands.
from a date to my family, and they're like, "How'd it go?" I was like, "It's fine."
I've definitely...
This is the problem.
I've never ever like if it was bad or good, I'm not like whatever. Like later on in my life, I'll tell stories about it. Like I took a girl to like a meat place when she was a vegetarian. It was an awful an awful date, but that so.
No, I don't know. I like hands.
Mm-hmm.
What? No. I don't know.
I'm hiding my hands.
I like musicians, so they tend to have longer fingers. Men who play on piano and guitar tend to have longer and prettier hands.
Well, I play guitar,
I know.
so I have pretty hands.
Yes, you do.
She already said you did.
Yes.
You
No.
need to keep fishing for
See,
compliments.
yeah.
I know, like,
and
I'm
then
so-
when
I'm a
I
man-
ask him,
I'm a man.
I'm
so
the
starved
problem.
of them.
Yeah.
I'm so starved of compliments as a guy. I need them.
So at least when you're saying, that the guy will be less or worse at like caring for the child, at least, I think it comes down to what we push in that sense, that they shouldn't be talking and that they should keep all their emotions to themselves, right? I think that's probably a bad thing.
I mean, you know my opinion about that.
Yeah.
I do think men need to pipe up sometimes about certain things. I think men definitely have to I think a lot of the time, I mean, McKenzie and Bree can either agree or disagree with me, but I think a lot of time when you have a boyfriend, you kind of go to him as a comforting ground for you to kind of vent out all your stuff to, and he's just kind of cool. He doesn't get overstressed. He doesn't get under stress. He's just kind of always neutral. Got it. I'm there for you 10 out of 10 times. I'm level headed. And I think that's important. I think have a level head and kind of having your emotions controlled more than kind of letting them because if I was someone's boyfriend and I was just, when they talk to me about something that's wrong, I'm kind of oh my God, no, really? What are they going to say? They're going to be I don't want to talk to you. What do you
No, I agree. My first boyfriend had a lot of anxiety, so anytime I would talk to him, it was a hot mess. I couldn't have
He's oh no.
Yes, I couldn't have.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was terrible. I couldn't. It made me feel worse.
Yeah.
And it was so now with my boyfriend now, it's so much better. He's yeah, it's gonna be okay, just calm and just
exactly.
And it's great to have that.
Yeah, I
all right, so I'm sure this goes. I'm sure that this goes.
Yeah.
Both ways, right?
Yeah.
That it definitely happens more because it's pushed more, but that the girl vents to the guy, right?
Yeah.
And what is this venting, right? It's probably emotional. It's probably
friends,
it's
family, work, anything that.
Anything
emotional
like that.
Stuff. Very emotional.
They
stuff.
feel comfortable enough to actually share that with the other person, right? And what does the guy do? right? He just sits there, he takes all of it in, and he doesn't vent anything back. He just absorbs it and does nothing else, right? Do you think that them venting, the girl venting, is a good thing?
Yeah, I think it's good for them.
So do you think then that if the guy were to vent to the girl, that would be a good thing?
I think girls are more disgusted by men venting to...
There's no way.
Do you find it attractive, right? And I'll ask all of them, but I'm going to ask Liz first. Do you find it attractive when men just vent all their emotions out to you?
Hold on. Do you think... Which one's how... Actually,
sure. Yeah, that's the question, right? No. Ask your thing before she...
Which do you think is a healthier relationship? A guy that wouldn't vent to you, or a guy that would vent to you?
A guy that would vent to me.
Okay, now, if the guy was to vent to you, would you be a little would be like, ugh, why is he like telling me all his emotions and all that stuff?
If they did it like very often, yes. But if they're just doing it once in a while, it depends what it is. If a guy's like telling me like he's upset about something, I'd be like, I'd be there for him.
Yeah.
If a guy is telling me like he's pissed off, like he wants to fight another guy, I'm like, beat their ass. I'll be right there. I'm gonna jump in. Like, my hands are bisexual.
What?
What does that mean?
It means I'm willing to hit both a girl and a guy if I need to.
Sexually?
That's a crazy
No, bisexual.
Bree, a question now. I don't really want to go. I don't want to like make it too uncomfortable if you don't want to talk about it. But like, does your boyfriend like vent a lot to you, like about his emotions a lot? And if he were, would you kind of be like, what are you kind of doing? Kind of thing like that.
Yeah, I mean, like she said, I do like every once in a while if something's like really bothering him, of course.
But like, if it was like almost everything was bothering him, he's always kind of going to you, basically being like that. Would that be weird? Yeah. What, Matt?
You are putting these two different sides that are not
You like that?
It's not. All right, so like one side where the guy is like, "Oh my god, like what are you doing? What are you?" That's different than a guy that would just be able to vent his emotions whenever he's mad or you know sad or whatever emotion he's feeling at the time.
Does your boyfriend vent to you a lot?
What do you mean by a lot? A lot is so relative.
I mean, how much? So how much does your boyfriend vent to you then? Right? Is that a better question? How much does your boyfriend vent to you? Is that a better question, Matt?
Yeah, sure.
Wait, would you rather ask?
Why don't you ask the question then, Matt? Why don't you ask it?
What would you see as somebody a boyfriend venting to you a lot as? How many like every day or every hour? Like
I'd say if they're venting to me like every day, I think that would be a lot.
Okay.
I feel like but if I did that as well, I think it would be a lot.
Yeah.
How often do you vent to your boyfriend though, if you don't mind me asking?
Often?
Yeah.
Depends on what I'm going through.
Yeah. Do you like vent to? Do you think you'd vent to him about almost everything? Not in the sense of like you walking and talking what you ate, but like if like something stressful were to happen, like you just immediately go to your boyfriend and vent to him.
Yeah, I do. But I also I think it's just because I want to be honest and I want to like tell him like what's going on mentally with me.
Yeah.
So like he's aware and like if like like if I didn't tell him and then I was upset and then like lashed out on him, he's like, what is that about? Like now he knows like why I was upset.
So now same kind of scenario back, like do you think if your boyfriend kind of were to vent to you about almost every kind of stressor in his life, do you think that'd be kind of like annoying or do you think that'd be like okay?
No, I think that would be okay.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like...
Would you prefer him to be a stronger figure to like vent to?
Probably, yeah. I feel like personally, like I think that like...
There's nothing wrong with it either.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I think that I feel like I mean, could be wrong, but I feel like the girl goes through a little bit more emotionally. Probably. Girls do in general than guys. And I think that in the relationship, like a guy being a little stronger is like kind of what's needed to like have a good balance and a healthy like relationship, or at least one partner needs to kind of be like that. Yeah,
for sure. What were you going to say?
I want to say first, emotionally speaking, right? Girls are usually like, I don't know, crying, anxious, all etc. Right? And they're they're seen like that, right? They're probably pushed more towards that, right?
Yeah.
From a childish age, they're like, oh, what happened? Oh, like, are you okay? And then, right, if say like, how a guy would process emotions, right? They'd usually lead to anger because, when they're like growing up, right? They're like, they're like fighting with some. They're literally like boys will be boys. Like there's two guys like super mad. Like and then when like I don't know when a guy's crying, they're like suck it up, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Those are like I don't know, very common situations that happen. Like be a man, right? Something like that. And when this is pushed like this, I don't know, guys are usually like going to be more. There's always going to resort to anger instead of like sadness, right? They won't be like as sad, but they'll all their stressors are going to build up, and they're going to be like angry. They're going to take it out somewhere.
Yeah, but, I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I'm a guy that doesn't really talk about. You know that I don't really talk about my emotions all the time. Like I'll like wait until the last minute until like it's ready to pop off, and then I'll say something. Yeah. But I never even when I do, I never am like vicious. I think I'd like to think I'm.
It's obviously individually based, but I think that there's pushed more for either side.
Sure.
To be I don't know the emotional type, but yeah, no, there's like that. That just has to be like known as the guy, and like you have to like you have to be able to push your emotions better and express like more than the anger that you were like taught more to like push. Especially like with I don't know testosterone like affects it a little bit. Like people are more likely to be aggressive. But
what do you think? I know you haven't said much about the whole thing.
No, there's a difference between communicating and just yapping.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with either of them, because if I'm with you, that means I'm a ride or die. Like I will listen to you complain, and no matter what, I will be there for you. Because if you need a person, I want to be that person who will be there for you.
For sure.
And will listen to no matter what you want to complain about. I want to know that maybe your coworker threw pen at you and you're mad about it. Like, I want to know if there's something bothering you. I prefer that. It's men showing his emotions and actually talking about it and trying to solve some problems, for example, is more emasculating for me than them bearing it away and me trying to dig it up. Because that makes me frustrating, and I don't want to chase. I'm like, I think I want to be with someone who's mature enough to be like, talk to me about anything.
Yeah.
And if you think that you are bothering me, that means that's a problem. You shouldn't be in a situation where you feel like, oh, am I bothering my partner? You know?
Yeah.
So I prefer them talking to me more.
I've had the opposite effect. I mean, with especially my relationships, if I ever complain about anything, they would immediately be on me for.
There's no way. Yeah, every time.
Almost every time. Yeah. They would not care. They would just be like, no care. Like, so I
think these are just harmful people. This sounds like a harmful person, not a woman thing. But because if I were even like the guy and you were offending to me, I'd be like, oh, okay, what's up? Like, you know, it's not like.
Yeah. I just think
it was that's just the person.
Yeah, I don't know.
But also, you said earlier, would you want a strong man to talk to? Which I think that implies a lot of things, but. Being like stronger, I think it's a little weaker to not talk about your emotions like that, because you're like just gonna bottle it up, and you think it's like I don't know, people would attack you for it, as I don't know, you guys have stated.
But I think we live in a society though where if men were to talk about their emotions more publicly, it's more scrutinized.
No way.
I think so.
I don't think so at all.
Yeah, I don't agree.
You don't agree?
No, I don't.
I think it's perfectly fine.
I do agree.
Yeah.
No, well, I've personally experienced huge cultural differences when it comes to dating. Eastern European men are raised to never complain, I've only seen my dad cry once in my life, and he was on funeral.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was capable of crying ever. Don't complain. Just be strong. Don't talk about your emotions. And then there are healthy people who are like, okay, I feel comfortable sharing this, which sometimes comes with how you were raised. if you were raised by parents telling you having emotions it's okay for guys to cry and it's okay to feel, then I think in adulthood it affects you. Like, it's a huge effect. But if you were raised like, no, you can't do this, you have to be a man no matter what, I think it has worse effects.
What?
Basically, do you think what me and Nia agree on is harder for men to be emotional in public nowadays than women? Do you think that's the case?
You think so?
Yeah.
First, I want to say, what do you mean by public? Like, do you mean like in like a movie theater or something? Like in a dinner table?
I'm talking about like, yeah, I'm talking about like you post a video online of like, there's a few girls that
that's
like,
what it's harder for men to post a video online.
I'm using one example basically. I'm saying like if you're like on a Snapchat thing, which I've seen a lot of girls posting themselves crying and being like, "Oh, it was bad night." I think more. No. I think women are more inclined to do that than a man is more inclined to do that, though.
Inclined and accepted are probably two different things. Like, obviously, they're probably more inclined to do that, but I don't think anyone's like going and swiping up on the girl crying, be like, "Oh, are you okay?" Like,
but it happens when a
That's
comment.
literally what they do.
Yeah,
No, they
I was gonna
don't.
say that,
No
yeah.
way.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no guy swiping up on that. Everyone thinks you're an idiot.
No, there's comments.
There's
There's literally
way.
comments on videos on like Instagram where like girls would post themselves crying, and there's comments on there like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on? I'm always here for you anytime like
All
that."
right, hold on.
But if I'm saying if a guy were to do that, I think a lot more guys would be like, "You're a pussy," blah blah blah. Like, what's wrong with you? Like,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was meaning before of like being more. It's harder for guys to be more publicly emotional and all that stuff because you think about like. I don't even remember. There was like this thing where an actor was crying on stage one time because he got an award, and like all the comments on the video were like, "Fuck pussy."
There's no
loser. Way. What do you mean? There's no way. It happens. It happens more often. But no offense, but if a girl were to do that, they'd be like, "What's wrong? Like, are you okay?" And also, because I think it's more often than not the tendency of girls to be more caring to other girls and to be more caring to other people. And men to be more like, grow some thick skin. You're a guy. Kind of feel like that.
Dude, come on. Imagine Liam posting himself crying.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, dude, what the...
Do you think me posting a picture of me like crying and then what do you think the comments are going to say underneath that?
Are you okay?
No.
Oh, yeah, no,
What?
no.
No,
I mean,
Liam
personally,
crying?
myself, I'd laugh.
What is wrong with you?
They would laugh. She just said she would laugh.
All right, would you laugh at a girl doing that?
No, I'd be a little more concerned.
There's no way you're not like equally concerned.
I mean, it depends on how they're crying, but like
How they're
Listen,
Or, like,
there's
just
literally
laugh it off.
videos. It's not even a joke.
there's videos.
No, like
I know they can't hear me, but it's like that Far From Dream scenario with what's his name?
Well, that was crazy.
well, no, that's an example. That happens more often than not.
All right, so hold on. Let's put this in more. Let's start
Have you heard
analyzing this
Have you
even
heard the
more.
phrase crocodile tears? Have you heard that phrase before?
Yes, fake tears.
More often than not, I'm not trying to say anything, but a lot of times women would use that phrase. We called that a lot of times because they sometimes would fake crying because a lot of times more people would feel bad for a woman crying than a man crying. That's why it's called crocodile tears when they're usually used towards women mostly, and that's why because sometimes women will just fake crying. I'm not saying it happens a lot, but I'm saying some women will fake crying sometimes to get sympathy from people, and she's saying yes.
that's so true. They do.
Yeah.
Like you can see it all on like TikTok and
And
all
mostly
all the
girls
do that.
recognize it too because they recognize their own of
Mm-hmm.
like she's fake crying and
All right, so
all
then
that
do you
stuff.
think the girls that recognize that are saying, "Are you okay?" or saying, "You are stupid"?
No, some girls will fall for it sometimes, but then in private we'll say this person's a terrible person, right? But on post they want to make it almost an example of like I feel bad for you, I care for you, but in private it'd be like, what's wrong with that person?
So what do you think? What do you think's more of the honest truth about what people think, right? What they write online or what they're thinking in their head?
I think what they write online.
That's the true part.
I think people have a mask online more often than not where they will write terrible things because they think they could hide behind a phone screen more than what they're saying in their head. Because I think people lie to themselves
they
a
lie
lot
online
more than anything.
Online that they lie?
No, to themselves.
But
I just can't even imagine what I would do if I saw a video of a guy crying. Because, like, why? Like, I just can't even picture it. Like, why would they do that?
Like,
isn't this so terrible?
I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying it's a reality. That's
you
the
literally
case.
said men should suck it up. Usually,
I said men should suck it up, but I'm saying, that's why. Because if you post it online, if you crying, you're gonna get ridiculed, and then you're gonna feel worse about yourself. So why not just suck it up and not post about it
both
online?
parties get ridiculed, and both parties get sympathy.
you when a girl cries online tonight, and they post it on their Instagram.
Let me look up girl crying right now. Let's see that, and guy crying online. Let's see the comments, and I won't pick and choose.
Then again,
What?
do you know Austin
Put
McBroom?
the mic on.
Yeah.
Do you know Austin McBroom?
Who?
He's literally crying all over Snapchat
Yeah.
about his divorce that he's having right now.
And what are they saying?
It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, he's acting like he's insane,
Mm-hmm.
and he's
I think
just like
that's fake,
saying like,
though.
I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
kind of fake too. But like, everyone's making fun of him.
Yeah,
like
it's-
nobody's giving him any sympathy.
What
Yeah.
is this person crying over?
He's crying over his divorce with his wife.
That's so
He's
sad.
living in an
What did
apartment.
he do?
And then people are commenting on his post, calling him a pussy and a loser, and that he needs to grow some thicker skin.
Yes, yeah, everyone's
What-
saying that. Yeah.
But if a girl were to post, if
a girl posted that, they're saying the exact same
if,
thing.
If his divorced wife were to post that, they
Everyone
would
was
feel
so
bad
nice.
for her.
Yes,
They'd
everyone
feel like,
does feel bad for her.
Oh, what's wrong? Like,
That's
are
exactly
you
what's
okay, sweetie?
happening.
Like, it happened, and that's what's happening right now,
Right,
right?
exactly.
All right, first, I can't speak on that situation because I don't know enough about it. Secondly, I don't know what did the guy do? What did the girl do? You don't know all the situation. All you're saying is that they're pointing at this and saying that it's only fitting into my category and my I don't know, my prerequisites. With you know how that's
Matt, can you think of an example where the opposite has happened?
what that the guy is being
That
like
the
helped.
guy is crying and everyone's like, "Are you okay?" And then the girl is crying and they're like, "How dare you?"
Yes, I'm sure. Yeah, that.
Well, no,
that
show me an example.
Okay, sure. I'll just look it up right now. It's probably right going to be at the top.
Yeah.
A guy
Just look up-
crying online.
Just look up woman crying online. She's mostly asking it like about women getting
Well, no,
terrible.
I want to see if there's a video of a guy crying and people are like, "Are you
Hey,
okay?"
let me get it.
And not
Let me get it. Actually, Instagram is
I'll
going
look
to
it up
have
too.
all the people being dumb.
I'll look it up on YouTube. Guy crying.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
No way. This is proper research.
This is a sad video. Oh, bro is crying in school. The worst feeling. Blah 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 blah. Let's go down. Let's go down.
Okay.
No.
No.
We're looking up videos of guys crying in the comments, being like,
Also, I want to ask who do you think?
"Who else feels bad for laughing at a crying man?" Let's see what else.
That literally was just my side. But hold on, I want to ask.
For laughing at a crying man.
Who do you
She was laughing at the crying man.
Oh, okay. Can I ask you one thing? All right. So when these comments come up, right, and they say, "Oh, you're a loser, suck it up," which people do you think are posting these comments?
Not kind people. I'm not saying they're not nice
No,
people.
no, not like kind. Like, what do you think they believe in?
What do you think they believe in? What do you mean by that?
What do you think their values are for like
They
a man
probably
and woman?
think men should be stronger and women should be emotional. That's what I probably think.
And that the I don't know, the
They
girl
probably
should stay in the
believe
house.
in they believe in a semi-traditional role. But
So most, and then you'd also then say probably the people that are more non-traditional
yeah,
would probably be fine with it more, right?
yeah,
And we both just discussed, I don't know which one's better, right? And it's probably better for the guy to be emotionally speaking out, right? So I don't take them as maybe I will give it to you that they will be ridiculed societally speaking. Okay. But that's not to say that it's like wrong for them to do it, right?
I'll give you an example as well. George Bush, the former president of the United States, right? He had to do George Bush Jr. had to do a ceremony for his father about his father passing, which is the former president George Bush and all that stuff. And George Bush Jr. did a thing for his funeral, basically, and he cried. And then literally, I look at the comments; they're all like, "Pussy, blah, 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 you're a wimp. Who cares? Grow some thicker skin." To a guy when his father died, and I'm not saying
that is so sad.
That's awful.
What are you saying? It's just cap?
No, that's sad.
That's sad. Yeah, it is sad, and it happens because it happens to guys online. It doesn't. They don't care.
Okay, so when you say it's sad, right? And then we're all saying it's sad. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that at least all of us, wouldn't post anything like that, right?
I would never post something like that.
No, not post that, but we wouldn't comment you're being...
No, I would not comment on it at all. But I would, in the back of my mind, I'd be like, why is he acting like...
There's no way in the back of your mind you're asking, why is he crying at his wife's funeral when you just said it was sad?
If I just looked at the first one without knowing the context of just seeing a man crying, I'd be like, why is he crying? That's what I'm saying, that. But if I learned the context, I'd be like, oh, okay, I understand. But if I see a guy crying in public, I'm gonna be like, why is he crying? What is he crying about?
I think there must be probably a good reason, right? I think the rational human would probably think that.
Yeah, they would, but they would ridicule the guy for crying because he's a guy. But if you saw a girl... there was a girl crying one time on my floor.
Oh, okay.
And,
well, there was a guy crying right in front of me, and I pushed him to the ground.
There was a girl crying on my floor, and literally... my innate response when I first saw her was, okay, what's wrong? I literally asked her, are you okay? And I went back in my room, got her a bottle of water, gave her a bottle of water, and I sat down there because I feel it's important because as a girl, I understand that they're more emotional, and I was like, I want to make sure this person's fine. You know what I mean? So I think the more of the innate desire to actually make someone feel what's the word? Make her feel better than if it was me. I think people would be like, what's wrong with him? You know what I mean? So
I think it also depends on the situation because as a girl, I'll cry over anything. But if a guy is crying, I feel like there has to be a reason. And if it's not if he's crying because he chipped his nail, that's just...
or he scraped his toenail on
so I don't think
asphalt.
any guy or sane girl is crying over a chipped nail, right?
Sometimes I do.
You cry over chipped nails?
Not chipped nail. But
have you cried? What have you cried over a chipped nail before?
If it's just adding on top of everything else that's gone wrong during my day, I would cry.
Liz, what's how about this? Answer that question. Then what?
I don't know. I kind of if there's everything going wrong with me for a couple days, then I'll probably cry.
Mm-hmm.
But not that day. I'll probably just start screaming.
What's
ovulation. We are so sensitive. I will actually
Oh,
cry
you're talking
about my
periods.
chip.
That's how you said.
I will. I
yeah.
have cried, and I'm I don't understand why I'm so sensitive. And my roommate was like, "Oh, because of your period."
Yeah.
And I'm like, that makes so much sense because I cried about the fact that I got C on essay.
Mm-hmm.
That was very fixable problem. Never cried about assignment in 22 years.
Yeah, Matt.
Ever.
Just so you know, Matt, I'm not agreeing with the fact that people should ridicule men for crying. I'm not agreeing with that at all. But I'm also not going to sit here and say I'm going to be the one guy that changed the world and do that because I would be the one guy getting ridiculed for doing that. So I'd rather just stand the sideline that's I agree, men shouldn't post.
But you don't agree though, right?
I don't agree, but I'm not going to go out there and be like, start posting about you guys crying online and let's all put all nice comments on. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so
Oh, what's up?
Oh no.
Peanut gallery. What is going on?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm coming in real quick.
Uh-huh.
So, you would say it is probably more likely to be ridiculed, how a guy would post something on their story or a Instagram post of them crying. That's what this has been about.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that person, or specifically that guy, would you say that potentially in this hypothetical that it took more to cause them to do that, and therefore it being a bit more of a larger event for that person because it doesn't occur as frequently compared to the other sex, or is it all weighted the same type of thing?
What do you? I don't understand. You're saying like
It's more. Sorry.
There you go.
It's more rare to happen, so it should be treated with more. I don't know, like more
care,
attention and more.
What
care.
you say?
I think that's what I was, not that I was trying to say, but it's like the same thing where it's like, why is he crying? Something bad must have happened, or is he crying because he stubbed his toe?
Yeah. I get what you're saying. If like it's more rare for that to happen, but I feel like for like to just really go down that rabbit hole, like of like, well, if you are like really upset, why is your first inclination to post online for total strangers to see you cry? Why don't you just actually go to the people that you know are your support system and actually go get the help instead of being like, look at me being upset? Like, do your things you need to do because you know what you need to do. You're not a stupid human. You know the people that will help you out. Go do that and like suck it up. Basically, that's what I would say in my honest opinion.
I think this would go for both parties, not the issue that it happens more rarely, right? When you're saying suck it up and go do something, I think you're talking about when you're posting it online, not that it's more rare for the man to cry.
No, I'm saying when it posted online. Yeah, I'm saying when it posted online.
everyone.
You'd say that for both parties,
yeah,
right?
I wouldn't say that just because it's a man or anything like that, or it's for just because it's a woman. I would just say it's for both. Like if you're literally posting like I'm upset, I'm crying, why do you gotta do that? Like literally, like why do you have to like show everyone else in the world that this is all that, other than you trying to get clout for it? Just go do the things you need to do that you know you need to do to get it fixed.
I think sometimes in many people nowadays, they're not emotionally stable enough or healthy enough to be able to feel like they can reach out in other ways. So the easiest way for some people, sadly, is reaching out, quote unquote, online. And do I think it's the first thing people should do? Absolutely not. But in many cases, it's a lot of the times like the only thing people feel like they can do. So if that's the only thing they feel like they can do, I think they should be more than welcome to do it.
McKenzie.
I agree with that, but I also think people just do it for attention and sympathy, and it's easy and quick access to that because it's just like posted right online. So yeah,
that's exactly what I agree with you.
I think they're looking for affirmation.
Yeah, I think they're looking for a reason that they should that like trying to get something from people being like, sympathize with me. I need this. Like it needs to make me feel like I need this. It's like,
so when
you really need to like have people giving you comments like, oh, it's okay. It's fine. Total strangers telling you that. It's like, why don't you go to your friends that care about you and they're like, listen, man, like it's gonna be fine. Or listen, it might not be fine right now, but it's gonna be fine in the future because I'll be there for you 100% of the time.
So you're saying, right, it shouldn't be accepted for either party, or it shouldn't be the right thing. It's not the right thing to do.
It should be people's first instinct, no matter who they are.
What about second instinct?
I don't think it should be an instinct at all for you to be like, I'm upset. Got my phone here.
Let's go make a TikTok.
Okay, I can either go on here and make a TikTok about me crying right now, or I can call my friends that will help me out and support me and give me everything I need. TikTok. Like, it's stupid. Like, what are you doing? Like, you have a phone, your contacts and your TikToks are right next to each other, and you go, I slipped making a video. Oh my God, everyone sees me crying online. Please give me sympathy.
But you also have to keep in mind that not everybody's lucky enough to have that good support system.
For sure.
People who are that active online don't have good support system to begin with because, well, you have a life.
Yeah, no, there's definitely.
And you hang out with your friends. But also, it's a sad fact that you have to go online and get all that attention from random people, and that makes you feel comfortable. That's like a sad fact that happens to so many people. We are just lucky. I'm very lucky to have you guys, for example.
Yeah.
Like, I know I can come up to you and be like, okay, this is the problem. And you guys will talk to me. I'm very lucky. But I didn't have that 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I had no one. So yes, this is pathetic and very sad, but I have posted myself crying on social media. And, well, that happened like a couple of years ago. I don't do that anymore.
Did you get sympathy online for it?
Well, for me, it was none of my friends lived in the country. So, yes, my friends were like, Nina, we are here if you need anything. But I'm like, thank you. That's what I needed to hear right now. But I didn't have support system at all. Just
yeah.
It just made me sad. It really made me sad.
Do you want to go on a break and we get back to it? But unless you have something quick.
No, that's fine.
What was it?
I was just gonna say, like, who's more likely to have that support system? Probably.
Well, then we'll answer that after the break.
Okay.
That's all right. Oh, it's sad. This school is something else, man. We're back.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So your question before we left, just get right back into
Which
it.
gender or sex, whatever,
is real?
is more likely to be in a supportive group, emotionally speaking?
Women.
Yep. I think it's women too. But.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
I mean, I think it's women, but I think there's a lot of fake people out there, fake friends, and I think that a lot of women are there's more toxic woman groups than like if you like. My boyfriend has some good like guy friends that were just really there for him and like actually like speak to him, and I don't see that a lot with guys, like toxic groups. It's really like with girls.
Yeah.
Sorry. You go.
No, let everyone get around the table, Matt.
My bad.
What are you?
No, I agree with what McKenzie said. I mean, I don't know. I feel like most guys don't have like support systems, and I feel like if they are in relationships or like they have a girl best friend, they go to that person and they expect them to be really there for them, and like I agree with that.
Yeah. Nina, nothing to say.
I agree.
Agree. All right.
I agree, but I think that there's different types of toxicity in the different groups, right? Because I think at least for a lot of like guy groups, right? You see a lot of talk online about, I don't know, there's like the bully or the punching bag of the group, right? And I don't know, you guys could tell me if that happens for girls groups as well, but you know, a lot of and then like there's like the alpha male at the top of the
Wait, question now. Who in our friend group is the alpha male? That's a great question.
You'll find out soon. But you know,
we're talking about that tonight after the show. I would love to hear. Yeah, in our tour, we're talking about that. I would love to hear who has to say.
You know, and at least there's the punching bag, and then there's the person that does the punching, and then there's also the people that follow the person doing the punching. At least I've seen. Anecdotally speaking, like a lot of people talk about it on TikTok, right? Or different social media platforms. And I don't know, does something like that happen in girls groups as well? Like, there's just somebody that you exclude a lot.
Yeah. I say girls can be really toxic and exclude people out. So.
I think it more happens with girls that kick out girls out of their friend groups than guys that kick guys out of their friend groups. Because guys, like, I think are more used to just getting made fun of a lot of time to each other and to from other people, so that they have more thicker skin and can actually take like jokes of like, you look ugly today, and then you kind of sit there, you're like, I don't care. Like, you know.
See, I think there's like difference in jokes though, because when you say like thicker skin, right? I know a lot of people that like there's some truth to some jokes, right? And they can definitely dig at people. Sure. Like when and then obviously if you don't like bring it up to them, like most guys do, then it's just gonna bottle up until you just rage at them and like what are you doing? Like this and this.
But I think
at least with the girl kicking them out of the group, I think they're more likely to be like.
But I think we're more I think we're more rational because we've had arguments between each other, me and you, or like I had a disagreement of something that you've said before, and I went to you straight up and was like, hey, like, I don't like what you said, and you're like, cool, won't do it again. You know what I mean? Like, we've kind of cleared the air, but I feel like...
I think it's a little more specialized. I think our group is not very normal, I would say.
Yeah, definitely our group's not normal. But I would say, like, you could tell me if I'm wrong, but, like, within, like, girls' friend groups, if you were to, like, talk bad about someone, you wouldn't, like, really do it to their face, but you kind of, like, go to other people in the friend groups about it first, almost, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So...
Would you guys eventually, like, I don't know, say, like, we got a problem with you? Or would you guys, like, let it just sit there and then bottle up and, like, I don't know, it'll just eventually, like, do something? You don't even, like, do anything about it. You just keep letting it continue?
Yeah, I'd say usually, like, the friend groups that I've been in, it usually sits there for a little while, balls up, and then they hear, like, maybe a little bit about what's going on, and then it's, like, a whole thing that comes up, and it's, like, this whole, like, dramatic thing, and then it, like, blows up, and then it's usually, like, can be usually resolved, and then, like, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And I don't think guys ever have that confrontation with people.
Not really.
I think that's all. It's all like it's all just microaggressions.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. It's like
I think it's more so like guys just tease each other and then let it go, and then if they have a problem, they'll actually be like very upfront and be like, "Listen, I have a problem." You know what I mean? Like I don't like what you said, and that's like at least what my approach.
And then, well, I think that you usually do that, but I don't think most guys do that. I think most guys like just I don't know, just let it sit there and not do anything.
I don't know.
Or maybe most people.
I don't know. I would probably disagree in some sense. I would agree with you, like maybe like 50-50, but maybe like 60-40 guys will be more blunt than most. I think majority of guys will probably be more blunt than
blunt and talking about it though are like two different things.
Yeah.
I want to ask. Oh wait.
Yeah, you wanted. I was gonna. I want to do a whole nother thing, but we'll do it a different night.
No, you could do it.
I can't. We have no time.
All right. I want to ask you guys your opinion on what the statistics are for study. This was a study that had males and females get assigned they see like a picture of a stick man, right? And they see a stick man, and they get assigned whether they want to see it in a long-term or short-term relationship. And then after that, they choose whether to reveal the face or the body, which one they like want to see after they like see like a short-term relationship and a long-term, like which one they're going to be in. So for males and females, actually, what do you think for the males choosing a long-term relationship? Do you think what percentages do you think want to see the face or want to see the body for males choosing a long-term relationship?
I would personally say that they probably would like to see face better compared to body, because I don't know, you wake up beside of someone if you're looking for something serious every day, and it's just like, I don't know, I think the first thing that you see is their face, you know?
I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's men thinking the body.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Long-term you think they're looking at body? And
I think that's what, is it face or body you're saying?
You get to choose one after it gets assigned.
I think they're looking
long-term.
at body more often than not. I think men are.
And short-term, they're probably looking at body, right?
If
long-term, they're also looking at body.
Long-term, they're looking at body. Short-term, looking at face. That's what I probably think.
What do you think?
It's the opposite.
You think it's the opposite?
Long term, they're looking at face. Short term, they're looking at body.
No, yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're right. No, I agree.
And you guys, what do you guys think?
I feel like if a guy's looking more for like a long-term relationship, they're gonna look more for the body because they'll see that to like a certain extent, and they're gonna want to enjoy that. With the face, it's like no matter what, if they're in love with a girl, they're gonna think they're beautiful no matter what. That's what I'm at least hoping.
But like, if you would think that they're beautiful, their body is beautiful, why they wouldn't think that their face is beautiful? You know, if you say no matter what, they would still like them.
I think more because they see the person's face more often. It's somewhat different.
Okay.
Well, males in a long term.
Wait,
sorry.
McKenzie didn't.
I think that long term it's the face, and short term it's the body.
Okay. No.
So males for long term relationships chose face 75% of the time and body 25% of the time. And in short-term relationships, chose face 49% of the time and body 51% of the time. I just found that interesting. And what do you think? Do you think it's different with females? Like, do you think females will choose body for short-term, long-term, or like face more? Like, which one do you think?
Long-term, they're looking at. I think they're looking at body long-term. and then
Yeah,
face short term. Because
I
then some people
agree.
complain about dad bods a lot of time. You hear,
I don't hear
But
complaints.
I wouldn't say I complain about a dad bod. I'd prefer a dad bod because that's what they're gonna look like forever.
yeah,
That's like how I perceive it.
yeah. I think some people, not in the sense of complain, but they talk about dad bods and like either like they don't like them or they do like them. And I think that's a big topic of like long term effects with men, then versus like a short term effect with guys.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What are you thinking for the long term, short term for female?
I was thinking, and then I forgot.
Liz.
I don't know, at least for me personally, for long term, I think more of the body than the face because, you know, I am seeing that and I want to be happy long term with whatever is underneath there. but for the face, it doesn't matter because if I'm in love with them, I'm in love with them.
However tall the South Pole is.
I think it could. Go ahead.
I would think it's the same.
The same?
Yeah.
The same as males? Or. Females for long-term relationships chose face 73% of the time and body 27% of the time. And in short-term relationships, 66% chose face and 34% chose body.
Is it the same?
Yeah, but this one's both
Yeah,
face.
except so like males and females were very like almost the exact same for long-term choosing face or body, but males decided to choose the face 49% of the time and body 51% of the time on a short-term relationship. While females like still had a really high face count with 66% and 34% body. So that's
my face is already aging. I look like I'm 30. Like I think by the time I hit 40, I'll look like I'm 70. It's so bad.
You're good.
It's so bad.
I think
I'm already graying. No one would love me.
It's negative cantle till it's all bad.
It's all bad. You're like Liam's ugly.
No, I found that interesting how
Yeah.
they just see the difference in
sure.
short term versus long term relationship.
And that was
value.
kind of what you wanted to say. Okay. I guess I'll ask the question: body count. Does body count matter now to you as a partner? I guess. Let's go, Liz.
I guess not. As long as you don't have an STD, I think we're okay.
So it doesn't matter. So like,
No.
okay, here, the same age as you, they have like 5. Is that fine?
Yeah.
10,
Yeah.
20,
I don't know what you've been doing with your whole life, but I mean, I guess
30. So there is a limit.
there's a limit. It's like it's okay to a certain extent because then you kind of just look like a whore.
Okay. Do you want to comment on this?
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like the higher, the more like I'm just like, so what's your past like?
Yeah.
So it kind of gets a little like unsure.
Mm-hmm.
It actually doesn't bother me at all because for me, it's like there's a possibility from personal experience. There's a possibility that you've been out there, you had your whole phase, which some people go through, no matter how bad it was. Maybe you were depressed and maybe you, I don't know, whatever was the reason that you gained so many bodies for. Like, I feel like you've been out there, you've seen people, and you know what's out there, you know? And then if I'm dating someone with high body count, first of all, I would not prefer it, but I'm not against it either because I'm like, okay, like you've seen and dated so many people and you have experience, and then you look at me and you're like, I want you seriously, like this is what I want, like this is my past. I wouldn't judge someone based on their body counts, which is not the same case when it comes to women. But no, like I kind of, I don't know, I felt very secure when my ex-boyfriend's body count was very high. At first I was very upset and I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, okay, good, I guess.
So why did you feel secure though?
Because I feel like he has seen all the women, all the types, been out there, you know? And then I'm like, okay, maybe like I have something special that he never found in anyone, and like that's nice that like.
Me personally, though, I would think if they have a high body count, like I would feel less secure, because it's like, what's happened where you basically slept with so many people you couldn't tie one of them down? Why is it so high to the point where it's like, why is there so many people that you've slept with, basically, if there's a lot? I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general. Use your face. You're like, what?
Oh, no, it kind of failed. That's why.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just...
No, you're good. No, I'm talking about, like if it's so high, like, why did all the other ones fail, and why are you now, like, am I going to be just another number, basically, to you? And that's basically what my first thoughts would be, for sure. I know Matt has a different opinion than me on this.
I've recently also had completely opposite experience when I met someone and their body count was very low, and I was like, that's kind of sweet. Like, I very much appreciate that you don't let everyone in.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it really depends on a person for me.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't not call someone anything based on their body count.
Do you find it more pure, though, if you what?
I love that term.
Pure. Do you find it like more pure in a relationship if your partner didn't sleep with like 20 people, and it's kind of someone who's like, maybe they slept with like probably 5 people, but it's like you're not sharing something with someone like free candy. Like,
oh yeah, that's like, definitely more special.
Yeah.
And it's lovelier, I think. I was the kind of person who wanted to wait until marriage. Yeah. Well, that failed. Yeah. But I don't know. I very much like those kind of idea. I might be like kind of like, I don't know, I think like old people, but I think that's sweet too. So for me, it really depends on a case, what kind of person you are.
Yeah, but I agree with all of that. I think that when you have like less and you like it's like better, but I also think that girls who have more, it's like harder for them. Like the guys are like they don't like that. There was this term that someone told me. It's like a little lock and the key term.
Oh no!
So
not this.
There's only one lock or one key that fits in the lock or something like that. I don't even.
No,
remember.
there's one. It's something like, if I can remember correctly, it was like
bro has it off the top of his dome and now he's acting like he doesn't know.
No, it's one key that fits into 50 locks is pure, but
is a master key.
Is a master key, but 50 keys that fit into one lock.
I think that's so stupid. I remember someone told me that, but at the beginning of college,
it's a terrible lock. That's basically what the term is.
And I think that's horrible to think and say. But like, guys actually believe that, and like they go by it, and I think it's ridiculous. It's not fair, because it's like what's wrong with you having a high body count and me having a high one too?
I think across the board it's unfair. I think both should not be like throwing themselves at people like it's.
Well, I agree. Yes.
Like it's like it's like nothing to them. I think they need to evaluate a lot of time what sex is to individuals, because it's a very intimate thing and it has a lot of risk. It's not just a play thing you can do and just be like, oh, I had fun. All my friends said to have fun, but now I'm having a kid. It's like, is it fun then? Or, oh, I got an STI or an STD. Oh, is it fun then for you just to throw yourselves at multiple people? And it's just not, how is that fun to me, you know?
Yeah.
That's just me, though.
I think it's like hard because like I feel like there's also just, I mean, they do this like stupid school like meetings about like they're like
it's stupid.
They do those things, but it like makes people want to do it more.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I feel like there's not a lot of like awareness towards like the cons of it all, and like everything that comes with it.
When they started teaching sex education in public schools, it was a 40% increase in, I'm pretty sure 40% increase or something like that in underage sex.
Right, because they know what it is now, and it makes them more aware and like
basically
interested in doing it.
And you have those people in rebellious teen phases where they're like, You say I can't have that, I'll have that when I want to have that. And then they just do it. And then they're like, well, I'm 15 and I'm having a kid. And can I take it back? Can I take it? No, you can't take it back. Now you have to live with that consequence almost. And it's, it sucks. But you have to live with that your whole life. Whatever you choose to do after that is an affecting thing to people. And I think that, personally, I think that people need to like really reflect on a decision that is so not as easy that people like to make it out to be. Because if you're choosing to sleep with 10 people and you're choosing to risk your life and safety in that way, in that regard, and risk having a kid with a person that does not care about you, that's on you. I mean, that's literally on you at that point. It sucks.
There's a lot of what you said was wrong, like almost all of it, but
almost everything.
Almost every single thing.
Oh, okay.
I can't get to it all, but like, all right. First, there's differences between practicing safe sex and going and having sex with anyone, right? There's people that can have a high body count and always be really safe with sex.
But
right?
how often do you think people are actually using condoms in sex and using in safe protection?
How often?
Like, how often do you think it's happening? It's not that high.
I don't know. I don't know the percentages.
It's really not that high. It's actually higher that they don't use it than do use it.
I don't know the percentages. I can't tell you.
Okay.
But it's from person to person, right? If the person, it's not the high body count that's the issue. It's the person that's choosing to do these decisions. Like, not like choose to sleep at them. I also hate that term, throwing themselves at you. You don't throw yourself at anyone when you're having intercourse with them. Obviously, you have like a certain commitment to them, and also with the sex being, I don't know, more intimate. I think there's different types of sexual experiences, right? There's, you'd probably never advocate for like, I don't know, a threesome or something like that. No. I think that's less intimate, and more about the fun stage. And I think that if there's a balance of both, one sexual experience can be 100% intimate and like 0% like.
So do you encourage people to have sex with multiple people?
I encourage them to do whatever they want. I could care less.
Even if they have the risk of getting pregnant or STD?
I would probably warn them that there are risks involved.
So me basically saying to people, though, I understand you're saying I might be wrong, but me basically saying to people that they should think before they do something, is that wrong to say?
I think that's something very different. I think you saying think before you do something and when you're 15 and pregnant, don't come crying to me are two different things. But
I don't think they're two different things at all.
No way.
I don't, because I think that that's part of making them aware of their consequences, the action that they're taking.
But do you think there's different levels to accessing what the consequences of the action are?
Do you think it's important? Do you think
they should be fully aware of what's going to happen?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that.
Do you think it's important for a 15-year-old to know that they could get pregnant if they have sex with someone at a young age?
Yeah, probably, yes.
So do you think it's important for me to like tell people like, hey, if you have sex with a few people and you just decide to have fun with people, you have a risk of getting pregnant? Do you think that's a wrong thing to say?
I think you should say, I think, all right, what's the next step in that? How about that?
Well, just answer that question first. Yes
sure,
or no? Do you think it's a wrong thing to say?
I'll go with your hypothetical. I'll say yes. Okay.
It's a wrong thing to say.
I'll say
yes.
No. Yes, you're allowed to say it.
Okay.
But what's the next step in that? What do you think? Yeah. What do you think you'll say next?
What I would say after that, they just know, basically. I don't have to. What else?
What I would say after that is you should start practicing safe sex. And you should start,
well, of course,
start practicing.
that would probably be in the same conversation as if like you can get. That's still the same conversation as be careful. It is under the same. I would still have under the same umbrella of that. Like if you're gonna be careful you have sex at 15 because you're gonna have a risk of pregnancy, and also it's stupid to do that. Also, if you're gonna do it, which I highly recommend you don't do it. Do at least have these options open, but they don't listen. I mean, if you just like the fact that we're teaching people like about sex at such young age is ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. But what are you gonna say, Liz?
I mean, I kind of agree. Like, some people should be told ahead of time or like warned that like you can't get pregnant at like 15 years old. Sometimes a few years younger. It's amazing because I've been in 3 different school systems and I was never once taught about sex ed. I found out about it on my own. So I was never like fully aware of any consequences or anything that could happen or go wrong.
Well, I don't agree with sex ed. I think sex ed too. I agree with certain aspects of it, like basically telling a kid like, hey, you're 15, don't do this. Like that's a normal thing to do, sure. But also like I'm in high school. I was a freshman. I'm 15, and they're showing pictures of like private parts that I don't want to see. Like that's not. How's that appropriate?
By the way, I'm not. I wanted to say I am not for anyone having underage.
No, I know you're not. I know.
Because when I'm defending the 15-year-old doing the situation, I'm not defending the part.
No, I know. You're not. I know you're not. Trust me, you're fine.
But obviously, probably sex ed is probably needed more in schools.
I think I think there should be less things taught within it instead of like basically telling them like, hey, like this is what vajayjay looks like. Hey, this is what a peener looks like. Like I don't think that's important for 15-year-olds to learn about in high school.
I'm sure sex ed teaches way more than that.
That's what I was taught and a few other things. I said a few other things. That's one thing I was taught in that.
Okay.
And a few other things. Let me finish before you jump on me. But what were you gonna say, Liz?
The closest thing I got to sex ed, which I feel like was the most effective, was for a weekend I had to bring like a baby doll home, and it would cry and act like a real baby. That is the biggest like.
I think that's great.
That's the biggest birth control to a 14, 15
I think
year
that's
old.
amazing because that's real.
I went to Catholic school. We didn't do that.
Really?
Worst experience of my life. I cried the whole weekend.
I cried too. That baby is horrible.
I guarantee
but
it.
honestly, it's like.
And you kind of want to punch it.
Yeah, and you kind of never want to have kids again.
Honestly, I think most people should take the class. And I mean, for my high school, it was not a required class, but I think it's important for everyone to go through.
I think sex education should be sex education in the sense of what is safe sex, and not of let's basically describe the woman's body or the man's body to another person, describe the hormonal components and all that stuff. It's like I don't think a kid at 15 needs to know that or will care. Most people just look at that and be like, I'm intrigued. Let's learn more about this in my free time.
Well,
I learned that's not. I don't think that's cool.
I don't know about your sex education, but mine, at least in my school, we actually did talk about how to practice safe sex. And
I don't think
there was safe sex situations.
There was like probably a unit that was like a day long. It was like a single day, and that was it. Other than that, there was like 3 days worth of looking at vajayjay, and I was good. I was tapped out after that. I was like,
that was not. I didn't really have that experience. I think I had like one day of like talking about like protective sex, but it mainly talked about STDs, like all of those things that you can contract, like. But like that's all I really talked about too, and that was a very brief like time.
Yeah. Anything else?
My question is, if you know, what age do most kids start watching porn? Because you're talking about.
I looked this up. Actually, I'm pretty sure for men, like the average age for men when they're kids, like 9 and 10-year-olds are looking at porn.
Yeah,
that's actually a statistic. Yeah, it's a real thing.
Went over the statistic.
I looked it up and it was that. So.
No, it's not.
What do you mean? No, it's not.
Though.
It's the case.
Hold on, I'll look up the statistic right now because I remember asking you about that, and I was like, oh wow, like 9 and 10, that's like crazy.
That's like,
and then you were like, oh, and then you're like, no, it was like 13 or 14, and then
no, it was a age range from basically like 13 to 14 to like 6 or something, or like not 6, sorry, like to like 8, but the average was 9 to 10-year-olds basically looking at it.
They're looking at it like
yeah, looking it up. Yeah.
No, not like looking it up. I meant like masturbating to it.
I don't know if that's the case.
I don't think anyone recorded that number.
Why not? What?
I think it was the case of them looking it up.
Because you talk about 15-year-olds like they've never sent nudes. Like
it's a terrible thing.
It is a horrible thing, but realistically, when you're 15 years old, you probably have already watched porn, and you probably already sent a nude, which is horrible, obviously.
Yeah.
But they are not saints. I think we should educate them, but educate them well.
Yeah, no, I
Education
agree.
system, especially when it comes to sex ed, is horrible.
Yeah, I agree with you.
In Eastern Europe, we don't even have anything like that.
Breeze mic.
We don't talk about it.
I just want to say, at least the first 3 sources that I look at, one of them says average age is 12. The other one says 13 to 17. The other one says 8 to 11. With the first exposure was 13.37 years of age, with the youngest exposure being as early as 5.
So there's 8 to 11, there's 12, there's 13 to 17. I mean, it's still ridiculous.
You're
It's
never going to get an accurate number of younger people because when you have to sign up, you put 18.
yeah, you have to, and then there's not 8-year-olds or 9-year-olds going out there being like, hey, by the way, mom and dad, I signed up for this account.
I need your parents'
I need your parents' info and credit card.
No, it's like you can do it. It's just like you might just run into a lot of ethical issues.
No, there's
very serious ethical
I
issues.
think porn should be banned. I think it's a terrible thing.
Hold on, I got. All right.
No, yeah,
I think
peaks the mics. We need to both.
I think. All right. Hold on. First off, this other one that was really recent, January 10th, 2023. 73% of teen respondents aged 13 to 17 have watched pornography online, with more than half first seeing it when they reached 13.
Okay,
I don't think 13 is bad. At least
you can.
I just wanted to correct that statistic.
No, but either way, though, you said some statistics that said 8 to 11-year-olds, and it's still 13. It's a ridiculous age.
Yeah, 13.
It's a ridiculous age for people.
13 is when they're
that.
hitting puberty. You
I know,
think
but
that's
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
No,
They
I
shouldn't
still
be
think
allowed.
It's way too young.
It's
yeah.
that's
Really?
ridiculous.
I think it's better for them to be
Way
well
too
aware.
young.
No.
That's
No.
not realistic. That's
Yeah,
not
it's not
becoming
realistic.
Well aware.
Yeah, no. So there's different. So I'm not advocating for.
No, he's not advocating for kids watching porn, but
what
he's
that
advocating.
No, I know,
right?
but
There's safer. Obviously, the porn industry is very.
He's saying
toxic.
it's better that at least they're 13 and not 9
and 10.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
9 and
Which
10 is
I
completely
I still
different than
don't,
13.
I don't agree with you though. I think it's still as bad. Like you're like
13 and 9 and
13-year-old
10?
boys shouldn't be watching porn. Let's just be honest. Like, do you agree that this should be a case?
All right, what do you think they should be doing
Well,
instead?
do you think a 13-year-old boy should be watching porn?
But that.
What? Yeah,
Being
what?
a kid.
Being a kid, going
They
outside
can
playing
go
with
play
friends.
sports. They can
Yeah.
go do these other things.
So-
They don't have to like go in the room and be like, let me just like pull the laptop out and in the tube and then just see what's going on after.
So when they're
And crank the knob and what's happening. I'm
there's
13.
differences, you guys are taking extremes. All right, when
No,
they're
it's taking. What extreme are we taking?
that they shouldn't watch it at all.
Yeah,
That's
They
not
should
extreme.
not.
It's
Yeah,
it's
they shouldn't
That's
the
all
watch it.
extreme is
response.
the extreme. I would say is saying, well, it's okay because at least they're learning about it and
So
they can.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you some leading questions?
Sure. And then
So
we're gonna wrap it up
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Cole wants to get
When
Parmesan
somebody's
bites.
when somebody is getting weird feelings in their body and getting really silly responses during pubertal stage,
Sure.
puberty,
like
stages,
me and you have, we were both in puberty at one
Okay.
point. Yeah.
What do you think they'll? What do you think they're doing? What do you think they're doing with their? No, they're.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. They're probably going ham. Let's just. They're probably climbing Mount Everest. I don't know. What do you want me to say? They're probably doing a lot of that stuff.
Would you rather them have knowledge about what it is their body is doing and what it is that is happening and why they're experiencing these things, or rather them be left in the dark most of the time?
I think they should know that it's a normal thing to happen. What's happening to them, but I don't think porn's a normal thing that should be happening for them. You should be like my kid comes up to me. He's like, hey, by the way, I'm feeling these weird feelings, and he's basically describing that. I'm gonna be like, listen, I get it. I went through that too. It's a normal thing. Yeah, like I don't know what am I supposed to tell my kid? Like, go, hey, I know it's kind of weird. Here's a site online. You can just click PO. It's like what am I doing?
They
No.
can be well educated and not have to look up porn.
Yeah.
Exactly, I agree.
Yeah, but which come? All right, I do agree. If there was better sex education, it would be better, right?
Yes.
But where do people at least first get their interpretations of what it is to be discovering your body?
Well, sex ed.
No,
conversations
not first.
by going on porn sites.
Actually, maybe
too.
first, maybe 9th grade now.
And like, and the parents not restricting internet access, turning off sites on their laptops and phones, which they could do too. And I think that's bad parenting too. To let your kids just go rampant on porn. I think there's a lot of things you could do for that.
But that's like a perfect world. That's not where we live, though.
I mean,
kids get exposed to it. It's horrible.
But don't you think, though, it would be better if at least people are a little bit more restricted on it?
Yeah,
I mean,
hypothetically.
it's gonna happen. But if we just say, you know what, it's gonna happen, whatever, let it happen. Why don't we just actually be like, hey, this is a problem. Let's actually fix it instead of like,
you know how many problems are like that?
Liam, I asked you this earlier, right? You were like, oh, so do you agree with how they're actually treating men online? You'd be like, oh yeah, I agree. I don't think it's right, but I'm not gonna go online and advocate and look like a dummy.
There's a different thing.
No.
Those are two polar opposites.
No, they're the same.
They're
premise.
two polar opposites between people going out there and saying, what do you think's more likely to happen?
No.
Someone going online telling a guy to grow up and stop crying, or people going online being like, hey kids, go look up porn. Like, that's not happening online.
It's a
that's
so.
Tell me.
Yeah.
Is it happening on both ends? Like,
No. You're misconflating this again. You're not trying to argue with me, at least in this sense, where I'm trying to take the two premises. Premises being, I'm not going to fight against it because it's too ingrained into our society. And you had the opposite view on that earlier when I was talking about people crying online, and you said, "Oh, I don't agree with it, but I agree with it because there's nothing I could do." But now you're saying, now that Nina's saying it's everywhere.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but we're talking about two different scenarios that have two different impacts on things. I understand what you're saying, though.
I don't see how that connects.
Like, no. I see what he's saying, because he's saying basically, I said earlier we have to control. Like I just said, like we have to control and monitor and like do our due diligence to make sure porn isn't going to kids. But I also earlier said, we should also, like, he's saying, like, I said, well, men should just stop crying online, and we shouldn't do anything to stop. We shouldn't do anything to like help support it, and just say whatever. I get what you're saying, like, I get what you're saying, but like, two different topics, and I have two different thoughts on both. Like, of course, I'm gonna have a different thought of men crying online, and there's nothing I can do about that. But there's things I can do about my children watching sites they shouldn't watch.
I think you could do something about both.
I don't think so.
There's
two different things, and there's two different problems, and there are two different issues that have two different major impacts. Guy crying online versus a kid watching porn. Which is going to be more detrimental to their mental health over a long period of time?
That's not the question.
But like,
the question is whether or not you disagree with one of them.
But that is the question.
No, it's not.
That's the question I'm asking, at least right now. Like, what's going to be more detrimental over time? The kid watching porn or the person like crying online?
You're trying to move what we're trying to talk about. I'm trying to talk. Actually, Bree.
No.
He's not trying to move. I'm talking. All right, what am I talking about, Bree? And what is he talking about?
I understand what you're saying, but I think one is he can have an opinion on which one's more important.
Yes, I'm just saying that the. Sorry.
No, go.
I was saying that the premises in which he based them off of were the same. Were different than he had for different takes.
But I also, on the take of men crying, I did say, maybe we should help them a little bit online. But like I was saying, I'm not going to go out of my way to do that because I have other important things I would rather do than worry about men crying online. I have more things I'm worrying about what my kids are doing if I have kids in the future than worrying about what men are crying online about. That's basically what I was saying. I'm not saying I think, men should stop crying online and all that stuff. I'm saying that it's a terrible thing. Sure, we should help them, but I'm not going to do it because I have other things to worry about other than that.
I guess, but you don't have kids to worry about right now, right?
I will one day, and I'd rather...
So you'd rather think about the future than think about the present? Is that what I'm hearing?
I guess.
No.
If that's
Well,
what
maybe he wants to fix it now so he doesn't have to worry about it in the future.
There's no fixing. He doesn't have the kids yet.
He's preparing.
I'm preparing for when I have kids. Like, I want
Preparing?
kids.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm 21. I want kids in the next 3 years or something.
3 years?
3 or 4 or 5 years.
My word.
Yeah, I do. That's what I want.
You frisky man.
And I don't want to like have to worry about all these things and have to prepare before my kids come to the world. So I'm not having this thing like, oh, there's a baby in my arms and I don't know what to do with it. When he gets older, I'm going to sit here and be like, and just like play hot potato when I'm going to act. Like, I'm going to try to like actually figure out what's the best course for my kids to live in, and that's what I worry about. I'm not worried about men crying a line over stupid things, and that's just I get what you're saying, and I understand that there was an inconsistency. I'm not saying there wasn't. I do agree there was an inconsistency there. Of course, I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but I have other important things on my tier list, and then you know what, Matt, when I get to that list of helping men cry online, I'll get there. But I have 10,000 other things to worry about, and I'll get there.
Helping men be more emotional.
I'll get there. Okay? But right now, I got a whole list to worry about, and that's like page 11,000, and I'll get there eventually.
Keep adding stuff in front of it.
Yeah. Like even after this, I gotta go to Domino's. So, anyways, this has been the Lounge Around Podcast with your host Liam Saranich. Thank you all for coming. I know this could be a little heated in some debates, and it was a fun time. I'm hoping. Did you guys have a good time?
Yes, thank you for having me.
Great, I'm glad. This is Liam Saranich, Lounge Around Podcast, with my co-host Bree.
What's up?
Matt.
Hello.
And special guest is Nina.
Yeah, goodbye, guys.
And Liz.
Bye.
And McKenzie.
Bye.
Thank you and good night.
Right there, mate. You're listening to the Lounge Around Podcast. Stick around for more.